I pulled up to my folks' lake house on a chilly Saturday evening, October 12th, 2025, to be exact. The gravel crunched under my truck tires as I parked, still clutching the six-pack of beer I'd grabbed as a peace offering. The text from my brother, Travis, had been vague. Family meeting, 6 p.m., don't be late. No heads up about what it was for. I figured maybe it was about mom's knee surgery or dad's fishing boat needing repairs. I didn't expect an ambush. I walked in, boots still muddy from work, and the air hit me wrong right away. Mom was perched on the recliner by the fireplace, her lips pressed tight, like she was holding back a cough. Dad lounged on the old plaid couch, a tumbler of bourbon in hand, looking way too smug for a guy who'd borrowed $500 from me last month. Travis leaned against the kitchen counter, arms crossed, smirking like he'd just won a bet. My older sister, Kim, sat by the window, tapping her nails on a coffee mug, her eyes darting to me, then away real quick. The room smelled like pine logs and tension. What's going on? I asked, setting the beer on the coffee table. Nobody grabbed one. That should have been my first clue. Sit down, Jake, Kim said, her voice all syrupy, like she was about to sell me something I didn't want. I didn't sit. I stood there, still in my jacket, feeling the weight of 4 pairs of eyes. Somebody die? I said, half joking, trying to cut through the weirdness. No, Dad said, swirling his drink. He said it down slow, like he was staging a big reveal. We had a family vote. About the big Thanksgiving trip to Colorado. I frowned. What vote? You're not coming, he said, flat as a board. We decided it's better if you sit this one out. The words landed like a punch to the gut. I blinked, waiting for the punchline, but nobody laughed. You're kidding me, right? Nope. Travis piped up, grinning like a jackass. It's for the best, man. Keep the vibes good. Vibes? I said, my voice rising. I planned that damn trip. I booked the cabin, the ski passes. Hell, I put down $4,000 on my card because you all said you'd pay me back after Christmas. You offered, Dad said, shrugging like it was no big deal. Offered? I snapped. I didn't offer to get kicked out of my own trip. Kim leaned forward, her mug clinking on the table. Look, Jake, you're always so wound up. Last year at the beach house, you freaked out over that crab boil bill. You made it awkward for everybody. Awkward. I shot back. I caught the restaurant tacking on an extra $60 for service. I saved us money, and you're welcome. We just want to chill this time, Mom said, her voice soft but not meeting my eyes. No drama. I stared at them, my family, the people I'd bailed out more times than I could count. Dad with his truck repairs, Mom with her medical copays, Travis with his rent when he got laid off, Kim with her endless, just until I get paid loans. And now they were cutting me loose from a trip I'd funded? Let me get this clear, I said, slow and deliberate. You're ditching me from the Colorado trip, the one I paid for, because I'm the problem? You've been different lately, Kim said, crossing her arms. All your rules, your no more handouts crap. You're not fun anymore. I let out a dry laugh. Yeah, I stopped letting you drain my bank account. That's the real crime here, huh? Don't make this ugly. Mom cut in, her tone sharp now. Oh, it's already ugly, I said. I pulled out my phone, opened the travel app, and found the booking link to my card. Dad's phone dinged on the table. He grabbed it, frowning. What's that? He muttered. That's me locking the credit card. I said, cool as ice. The one tied to your flights, the cabin, the whole damn thing. You want Colorado? Pay for it yourselves. You can't do that. Kim jumped up, her face red. Watch me, I said. It's done. How are we supposed to go now? Travis said, finally dropping his smug act. It's in a month. Figure it out, I said, grabbing my keys. You're all so chill, right? Make it happen. You're being a jerk, Mom said, her voice cracking. No, Mom, I said, heading for the door. I'm being finished. I walked out, leaving them stewing in their lake house glow, the six-pack still sweating on the table. They thought they could vote me out quiet-like, but I wasn't going down without a fight. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat on my couch, beer in hand. Not one from the six-pack, one from my own fridge, staring at the wall. My phone buzzed. Kim sent a middle finger emoji. I didn't reply. Then Mom texted, don't ruin this, Jake. We're still family. Ruin it. I'd built it. And they'd torn it down. Next morning, my buddy Mark called. Dude, you okay? Saw Kim's Snapchat. What Snapchat? I said, my stomach sinking. She posted a pic of them toasting by the fireplace. Caption said, free from the control freak at last. Colorado's gonna rock. I felt the heat climb up my neck. They weren't just cutting me out, they were bragging about it. That's when I knew this wasn't just about a trip. This was war. The next morning after that lake house showdown, I woke up to a headache and a phone buzzing like a ticked-off hornet. I'd crashed on my couch, still in my work jeans, the empty beer bottle tipped over on the carpet. Sunlight stabbed through the blinds, and I groaned, reaching for my cell. 17 missed calls, Mom, Kim, Travis, even Dad, who never calls unless he's drunk or desperate, plus a dozen texts. I scrolled through them, leery-eyed. Mom, Jake, call me. This isn't right. Kim, you're a selfish prick, you know that? Travis, dude, unlock the card. We're screwed. Dad, son, we need to talk. Now. I tossed the phone on the cushion and rubbed my face. They weren't sorry. They were mad I'd pulled the plug. I got up, brewed some coffee strong enough to wake a coma patient, and sat at my kitchen table, staring at the steam. That's when Mark's call from yesterday clicked back in my head. Kim's Snapchat. I grabbed my phone again, opened the app, and there it was, still up. A blurry shot of them clinking glasses by the fire, Mom forcing a smile, Dad raising his bourbon like some king. Caption: free from the control freak at last. Colorado's gonna rock. She tagged me in it, too, just to twist the knife. I sat there, coffee going cold, feeling my blood heat up. They didn't just kick me out. They were painting me as the bad guy to anybody who'd listen. I slammed the mug down, grabbed my laptop, and logged into the travel account. Sure enough, the card was locked, bookings frozen. They couldn't touch a dime without me. Good. Let them squirm. Around noon, my doorbell rang. I peeked out the window. Travis, standing on my porch in his beat-up Carhartt jacket, hands stuffed in his pockets. I opened the door but didn't let him in. What do you want? I said, voice flat. He shifted, looking at his boots. Look, man, last night got out of hand. Can we talk? Talk about what? How you all ganged up on me. He sighed. It wasn't like that. Kim pushed it, said you'd ruin the trip with your nagging. Mom and Dad just went along. Nagging? I said. You mean asking to get paid back the $4,000 I shelled out? He winced. Yeah, well, Kim's been on a tear lately. She's pissed you stopped covering her car payments. I laughed, short and bitter. Oh, per Kim. Must be rough not having me as her personal ATM. Come on, Jake, he said. Unlock the card. We'll figure it out. No, I said, crossing my arms. You figure it out without me. He stared at me, then shook his head. You're screwing us all, you know that? Mom's crying, Dad's yelling, Kim's threatening to call her lawyer friend. Let her, I said. I'd love to see her explain in court how I'm the jerk for not bankrolling her ski trip. Travis turned and walked off, muttering something I didn't catch. I shut the door, locked it, and went back to my coffee. That's when my phone lit up again, this time, a call from my cousin, Ellie. She's the oddball of the family, the one who moved to Oregon and stopped showing up to holidays after Kim called her a hippie to her face. We got along, though, mostly because she didn't ask me for Jack. Jake, you good? She said when I picked up. Not really, I said. You hear about Colorado? Yeah, she said, voice low. Ellie sent me a screenshot of her Snapchat. What the hell's going on? They voted me out, I said. Said I'm too uptight. Then I locked the card I used to book it all. She whistled. Damn, man. That's cold. But I get it. Kim's been trash-talking you for months. I sat up straighter. What do you mean? She's been telling people you're broke, Ellie said. Said you begged to plan the trip to look important, then flipped out when nobody kissed your ass for it. She's spinning it like you're unhinged. I gripped the phone tighter. She's lying out her teeth. I paid for everything, flights, cabin, all of it. I know, Ellie said. I didn't buy her crap. But she's got half the family fooled. Aunt Linda even asked me if you were on drugs. Drugs? I barked. I work 50 hours a week at the warehouse to keep my head above water, and they're out there saying I'm a junkie? It's Kim, Ellie said. She's good at this. Twisting stuff. You know how she is. I did. Kim's always been the golden child, pretty, loud, knows how to work a room. Me? I'm just Jake, the guy who fixes stuff, pays bills, keeps quiet. Until now. Check your email, Ellie said. I forwarded you something. I opened my laptop, found her message, and clicked the attachment. It was the Colorado itinerary, my itinerary. I scanned it, and my jaw dropped. Kim's flight? Upgraded to first class. A $900 charge, dated 3 days ago, on my card. She'd slipped it in while I was busy arguing with her about splitting gas money for the drive to the lake house. She used my card again, I said, voice shaking. After I told her no more. Ellie didn't say anything for a second. Then, you gotta shut this down, Jake. She's not gonna stop. I know, I said. I hung up, marched to my desk, and called the airline. Hi, I said, forcing calm. I need to cancel some tickets. All of them under the name Miller. The lady on the line hesitated. All 4. Yep, I said. Especially the first-class one for Kimberly Miller. By 5 p.m., it was done. Flight's gone. I didn't stop there, called the cabin rental company, canceled that too. Non-refundable, sure, but I'd rather eat the deposit than let them enjoy it. That night, I drove back to the lake house. Not to beg, just to see their faces. Mom answered, her eyes puffy. Jake. Hey, Ma, I said, stepping past her. Dad was in his chair, glaring. Kim sat on the couch, scrolling her phone, oblivious. Travis hovered by the kitchen, looking nervous. What now? Dad growled. Just dropping by, I said, casual. Oh, and the trip's off. Flight's canceled. Cabin's gone. Hope you've got a plan B. Kim's head snapped up. You didn't. I did, I said. You don't get to use me and dump me. You're ruining everything, she yelled, jumping up. Nah, I said. You did that when you stabbed me in the back. Dad stood, face red. This is spite, Jake. Pure spite. Call it what you want, I said. I call it done. I walked out, their shouts echoing behind me. They thought they could bury me quiet. I was about to get loud. The day after I torched their Colorado plans, I woke up feeling like I'd run a marathon, exhausted but wired. My apartment was quiet, just the hum of the fridge and the drip of the coffee maker. I turned off my phone after leaving the lake house last night. Didn't want their whining blowing up my screen. I sat at my table, sipping black coffee, replaying it all. Kim's scream. Dad's glare. Mom's watery eyes. Travis just standing there like a deer in headlights. They'd pushed me out, but I pushed back harder. I flipped my phone on around 10 a.m. 32 missed calls. 56 texts. A voicemail from Kim that I didn't even play, just deleted it. I wasn't ready for her venom yet. Instead, I called my bank. Hey, I said to the guy on the line, I need to report some charges. Unauthorized. On my card. He walked me through it, dates, amounts, the works. I flagged Kim's first-class upgrade, a $200 bar tab from 2 weeks ago I didn't recognize, and a $350 charge to some boutique in town. All her. We'll freeze the card and open a fraud case, the guy said. You got proof it wasn't you? Yeah, I said. I've got emails, texts, hell. I've got a whole family who'll admit it if they're honest for once. Good enough, he said. We'll look into it. I hung up, feeling a knot loosen in my chest. Then my doorbell buzzed. I peeked out, Mom, standing there in her quilted jacket, clutching her purse like a lifeline. I opened the door, didn't say a word. Jake, she said, voice shaky. Can I come in? I stepped aside, let her shuffle past. She sat on my couch, hands twisting in her lap. You didn't have to cancel everything, she said. We could have worked it out. Worked what out? I said, leaning against the wall. You voting me off my own trip? Kim using my card like it's her piggy bank? She flinched. We didn't mean it like that. Kim she said you'd stress us out. We wanted it peaceful. Peaceful, I repeated. So you let her trash me online, spend my money, and boot me out. That's your piece. Her eyes dropped. She posted something, didn't she? Yeah, I said. Called me a control freak. Tagged both my handles. Real classy. Mom sighed. She's upset. You know how she gets. I know she's a thief, I said. And you all backed her up. She didn't argue that. Just sat there, looking old and tired. Your dad's furious. Says you're tearing us apart. He can say what he wants, I said. I'm done footing the bill for his bourbon and her lies. She stood, slow, like her knees hurt. We're family, Jake. Don't let this break us. It's already broken, I said. You broke it when you picked her over me. She left without another word, the door clicking shut behind her. I didn't feel good, just empty. But I wasn't done fighting. By afternoon, the war went public. My phone pinged with a text from Ellie. Check Kim's Instagram. She's lost it. I opened the app, and there it was, a new post. A selfie of Kim in sunglasses, pouting, with the caption, when your own brother sabotages your holiday because he can't handle being irrelevant. Hashtag family drama, hashtag ungrateful. She tagged me again, plus half the family tree. Comments were rolling in, cousins I barely knew, uncles who never called. What's wrong with Jake? Kim, you don't deserve this. He's always been jealous. I scrolled, my gut twisting, until I hit a reply from Ellie. Funny how he paid for it all and you still screwed him over. Tell the real story, Kim. I texted Ellie. Thanks for the backup. She shot back. Anytime. She's digging her own grave. That's when I decided to hit back. I grabbed my laptop, pulled up every receipt, flight bookings, cabin deposit, Kim's sneaky charges. I screenshotted texts where they begged me to cover stuff. Dad's just till my pension check clears. Kim's I'll Venmo you next week, promise. Lies, all of it. I dumped it into a Google Drive, made a link, and posted it on my own Instagram. Since Kim's telling stories, here's the truth. Paid $4K for a trip that kicked me off. Locked the card. Canceled it all. Receipts attached. Done being the doormat. I hit post and watched the views climb. 10, 50, 100. My phone started buzzing, cousins, friends, even my old high school buddy, Pete. Dude, that's messed up. You okay? Kim's a piece of work. Then a call from Travis. What the hell, man, he said when I answered. You're airing our laundry online? You started it, I said. Kim's out there lying. I just set the record straight. Dad's losing his mind, he said. Mom's locked in her room. Kim screaming you hacked her accounts. Hacked? I laughed. She's the one who hacked my card. He went quiet. This is bad, Jake. Real bad. Yeah, I said. For you guys. I hung up, refreshed my post, 200 views now. Ellie commented, proud of you, man. Let him choke on it. Then Pete, need a beer? I'm buying. I smiled for the first time all day. They wanted a war? I give them one. That night, I got an email from the bank, fraud case opened, investigation started. Kim's name was on it. I leaned back on my couch, staring at the ceiling. They tried to bury me, but I was climbing out, fist swinging. And I wasn't alone anymore. Ellie, Pete, people I hadn't talked to in years were in my corner. Kim thought she'd win with her sob story, but I had the truth. And it was loud. Next morning, I woke to a text from an unknown number. Jake, it's Uncle Ray. We need to talk about your grandma's estate. Call me. I frowned. Grandma Ruth died 2 years back. Left me her old pickup. Nothing fancy. What was this about? I dialed him, curious, and that's when the Ray L-bomb dropped. I sat on my couch, phone pressed to my ear, listening to Uncle Ray's gravelly voice. It was Monday morning, October 14th, 2025, and my head was still spinning from the weekend's chaos, canceling the Colorado trip, Kim's Instagram meltdown, my own receipts going viral. Now this. Jake, Uncle Ray said, your Grandma Ruth left more than that rusty pickup. She updated her will a year before she passed. Nobody told you. I gripped the phone tighter. No. What are you talking about? He cleared his throat. She left you the cabin. The one up in Michigan, by Lake Huron. Deed's in your name. Been sitting there since she died. I blinked, my brain scrambling. Grandma's cabin. Small, cedar-sided, with a rickety dock and a view of the water that'd make you forget the world. I'd spent summers there as a kid, fishing with her, eating her burnt pancakes. Why didn't anybody say anything? Ruth told me to keep it quiet, he said. Didn't trust your folks or Kim not to guilt you into selling it. She knew they'd lean on you hard. I laughed, sharp and hollow. She wasn't wrong. There's more, Ray said. She left you a chunk of cash, about 20 grand. It's in a trust. Been collecting interest. I've got the papers. Can meet you tomorrow if you want. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. 20 grand and a cabin. From Grandma, who'd always called me her steady one, while Kim pranced around stealing the spotlight. Yeah, I said. Let's meet. Text me the time. I hung up, my chest tight. Grandma really saw me, when nobody else did. And now she'd handed me a lifeline. But I didn't have time to process it. My phone buzzed again. Kim. I almost ignored it, but curiosity won. What? I said, picking up. You're a bastard, she hissed. Bank called me. Said there's a fraud investigation. You did this. Yep, I said, calm as stone. You used my card without asking. That's stealing, Kim. I'm your sister, she yelled. You're ruining my life over a stupid trip? No, I said. I'm ruining your scam. Big difference. She went off, screaming about lawyers, how I'd regret it, how I was dead to her. I hung up mid-rant, blocked her number. Done. Then I called Ellie. You won't believe this, I said, filling her in on the cabin and cash. Holy crap, she said. Grandma Ruth was a ninja. What are you going to do? Dunno yet, I said. But it's mine. They can't touch it. Good, she said. Kim's imploding over here. Posted another sob story, says you're framing her. Nobody's buying it after your receipts. I smirked. Let her dig. That afternoon, I drove to the warehouse for my shift, still dazed. My buddy Pete caught me in the break room. Saw your post, man. Family's wild. You holding up? Yeah, I said. Better than I thought. Got some news. Grandma left me a cabin and 20 grand. His jaw dropped. No kidding? That's awesome. Feels like a win, I said. First one in a while. He clapped my shoulder. Drinks on me tonight. You earned it. By evening, word was spreading, cousins texting, congrats on the cabin. Kim's full of it, huh? My phone pinged with a message from Travis. Mom's a mess. Dad's drinking. Kim's talking lawsuits. You happy now? I didn't reply. Happy? Not quite. Free? Getting there. Next day, I met Ray at a diner off the highway. He slid a folder across the table. Deed. Trust docs. All legit. It's yours, kid, he said. Ruth wanted you to have something they couldn't take. I nodded, throat tight. She knew, and better than I did. Driving home, I passed the lake house. Dad's truck was out front, Kim's SUV too. I didn't stop. They'd lost their grip on me, and Grandma's gift was my ticket out. But I wasn't naive. Kim wouldn't go quiet. She'd swing harder. I just didn't know how dirty yet. That night, I got a call from an unknown number. Mr. Miller, a woman said. This is Detective Hayes, local PD. We're looking into your fraud report. Can you come in tomorrow? Yeah, I said, heart pounding. I'll be there. I hung up, staring at the folder on my table. The game was shifting. Kim's lies were catching up, and I had the upper hand. For once, I wasn't the one running scared. Wednesday morning, I walked into the police station, a brick building that smelled like stale coffee and bleach. Detective Hayes was a short woman with sharp eyes, maybe 40, who didn't waste time. She sat me down in a cramped office, my bank statements and screenshots spread out on her desk. Tell me what happened, she said, pen poised. I laid it out, how I'd funded the Colorado trip, how Kim used my card for extras, how they voted me out and I canceled it all. I showed her the texts, the $900 first-class charge, the boutique bill. She's been dipping into my account for months, I said. I told her to stop. She didn't. Hayes nodded, jotting notes. You locked the card after the vote? Yeah, I said, and reported it when I saw she'd upgraded her flight behind my back. She tapped the boutique receipt. This one's tricky, same card, but she could claim you gave permission. Got anything solid? I pulled out my phone, opened an old text from Kim. Can I use your card for a dress? Promise I'll pay you back. My reply. No, I'm tapped out. Use your own. Dated a week before the charge. Hayes smirked. That'll help. We've got enough to question her. She's got a record, petty theft, 3 years back. You know that? I shook my head, stunned. No, she never said. Shoplifting, Hayes said. Plea deal, no jail. Might explain why she's bold. I sat back, reeling. Kim, a thief before this? It fit, but it still stung. What happens now? We'll bring her in, she said. If she admits it, could be a fine, restitution. If she fights, it's court. Your call on pressing charges. I want my money back, I said. And her to stop. Fair enough, she said. We'll keep you posted. I left the station, head buzzing. Kim in cuffs? Part of me wanted it, payback for the lies, the Snapchat jabs. Part of me just wanted her gone. I drove to Pete's bar that night, told him everything over a beer. She's cooked, he said, grinning. Cops don't mess around with paper trails. Maybe, I said, but she'll spin it. Always does. Next day, Ellie called. Kim's freaking out. Cop showed up at the lake house. She's saying you set her up. Of course she is, I said. She's got no moves left. She's got one, Ellie said. Posted a video crying, saying you're bullying her with fake charges. Aunt Linda's eating it up. I groaned, checked Instagram. There it was Kim, mascara streaked, sobbing. My own brother's trying to ruin me. I made mistakes, but this? Comments were split, some pity, some calling bull. I didn't respond. Let the cops handle it. Friday, Hayes called. She confessed to the flight upgrade. Claims the rest was miscommunication. Offered to pay you back if you drop it. How much? I asked. $2,000, she said. Covers the big stuff. I thought about it. $2,000 was short, but it'd end this. Tell her $3,000, and I'm done. Will do, Hayes said. She's got a week. I hung up, feeling lighter. Not justice, but close. That night, I drove to the Michigan cabin, first time since Grandma died. It was musty, quiet, perfect. I sat on the dock, beer in hand, watching the lake ripple under the moon. My phone buzzed. Kim, I'll pay. Just stop. I didn't reply. She'd lost. A week later, Kim's check arrived, $3,000, scribbled in her loopy handwriting. I cashed it, paid off the card, and closed the fraud case. Hayes called to confirm. She's off the hook, legally. Watch her back, though, she's pissed. Noted, I said. But I wasn't scared anymore. The fallout hit fast. Mom called, begging me to fix things. Kim's a wreck, she said. Dad won't leave his chair. Come talk. No, I said. You made your bed. She cried, but I hung up. Travis texted, you won, man. Happy now? I wrote back, not about winning, about breathing. He didn't reply. Ellie kept me posted. Kim's social media went dark after the video flopped. Cousin stopped buying her act. Aunt Linda called me, apologizing. I didn't know, she said. You're a good kid. Thanks, I said. Took a while for folks to see it. I sold Grandma's pickup, added the cash to the trust, $25,000 total now. Fixed up the cabin, new roof, fresh paint. Pete helped, cracking beers while we worked. This place is yours, man, he said. They can't touch it. Christmas came, no invite from the lake house. Fine by me. I spent it at the cabin with Ellie and Pete, grilling steaks, laughing. First holiday, I didn't feel like a wallet. January hit, and Dad showed up at my apartment, unannounced. We're selling the lake house, he said, voice rough. Kim's moving out. Your mom's a mess. Sorry to hear it, I said, not moving from the doorway. He stared at me. You've changed. Yeah, I said. I stopped bending. He nodded, slow, and left. I shut the door, done with guilt. It's April 3rd, 2026 now. I'm at the cabin, typing this on my porch, lake breeze in my face. I quit the warehouse, used Grandma's money to start a small towing business. It's mine, built from scratch. Pete's my first hire, Ellie's my bookkeeper. We're small, but we're growing. Kim's gone, moved to Chicago, last I heard. Mom sends cards, I don't open them. Dad's quiet, lake house sold. Travis calls sometimes, testing the water. I keep it short. I'm not their fix anymore. The cabin's my home, wood stove, my dog Ranger snoring by the fire. I fish, I work, I live. No more votes, no more lies. I'm free, not because I won, but because I stopped playing. Last week, a guy at the gas station recognized me. You're the Miller kid, right? Heard you stood up to your folks. Respect. I nodded, smiled. Word travels, but it's my story now. I don't owe them my bones. Family's who earns it. Ellie, Pete, Ranger. I'm Jake Miller, not their mule. And I'm good.